Black Lives Matter, police killings of unarmed black people, and the former Trump administration have all put the issue of race front and center this past year. But how do we talk to our kids about racism? Our next guest says that Black History Month is a good time to talk about racism. She joins us this morning to share ideas on how to frame the conversation with our kids. We welcome Samantha Kemp Jackson. Good morning, Samantha. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. It is such a difficult conversation to have and to broach with little ones and teens. I mean, kids of all ages, really. So as a parent, where does one begin?
Well, I think where one begins is being honest. Let's face it, our kids are hearing all about race, racism, race relations, and all of the very unfortunate events that have happened in the news. So as we know, there was the killing of George Floyd in May. There were global protests about it, which is great because it brought race and racism to light, but it also posed a very difficult problem for parents who had not talked about their kids. So I think being really open, really honest, and perhaps using news stories as a touch point and foundation for the beginning of a conversation.
Because kids are absorbing and picking up on so much, whether parents realize it or not.
Yeah, I mean, we think that we have our kids in this, hermetically sealed bubble, and we know everything that they're seeing and they're hearing. But we don't, particularly now that we're all at home, we're, on our screens all the time. Kids are working and learning on screens, but they're also getting DMs and texts and messages from their friends. So we want to make sure that we imbue our kids with the value structure and the important lessons that we think they should know, as opposed to getting it from somewhere else.
We have the top tips up right now. Raising kids who are not racist. You have this incredible checklist. First up, you say, don't sugarcoat reality.
Yeah, I think that, we have this tendency as parents. I do it, and I think most parents do it. You want to protect your kids. You want to tell them everything is, rainbows and unicorns, but it's not. You want to be able to tell them the truth, because we would be remiss as parents if we didn't give them the tools and the foundation to be anti-racist without telling them what's going on in the world.
Okay, you also say, tell them where you stand and what you think. Be as honest as possible.
Yes. So it's all about values, Dina. You want to imbue your values to your kids, and the values come from home. So, you should have those very honest conversations about, race, racism, what it means to be othered, how people of color experience racism, and the existence of privilege and white privilege, which a lot of people feel very uncomfortable about, but it is a reality.
And so we'll skip to that one, because you did mention already about listening to a wider media. They're always taking in information. But how do we become allies and advocates?
Well, I think it's really important for people who want to be allies to use their voices. So, if you're a white parent or a parent who's not Black or of color, what you want to do is you want to give your children the information about the history of racism, and then tell them that being an ally means not just standing by, but being actively anti-racist. So for using your voice. So if a child sees that a friend is being bullied because of their race, or a child sees that microaggressions are being perpetrated upon a friend or a person of color, that child is able to use their voice and to say, look, what you're doing to this person or what you're doing to my friend is wrong, and here's why. So use that privilege that exists within a lot of the society to help all of us be on an equal level.
Yeah, and to keep checking in, keep having these conversations. It's not just when there's a headline, it's all the time, right? Thank you so much, Samantha.
Absolutely, in this day and age, for sure.
Where do we find more?
You can go to my website, multiplemayhemmama with 2Ms.com, or you can listen to my podcast, Parenting Then and Now, and it's on all of the podcast applications.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your insights this morning, Samantha. Love you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for having me, Dina.
Right now, over to Mal, who's taking a look at your headlines.